Hello, this is Twisted Twigs Genealogy, and I am going to describe how you can request a World War I, World War II, or Korean War Veterans VA claim file and actually receive it. Now, a little introduction if you do not know me. My name is Deidre Aaron. I'm a professional genealogist and owner of Twisted Twigs Genealogy, along with Twisted Twigs on Gnarled Branches Genealogy Facebook page. My company specializes in affordable military research and record retrieval at the National Archives in Washington, D.C., College Park, and in St. Louis since 2014. For the last 8 years of pulling military records, I must say that Civil War pensions are my absolute favorite, with reconstructing Army and Air Force OMPF files being a very close second. So, Twisted Twigs, why are you going to be sharing all your tips and tricks, as the kids say nowadays? It's simply because of Wilhelmina Murray right there on the left-hand side. In 2023, I had to get a water pump changed, but did not have the $1,000 that they wanted to get it changed. So, but I did find out that the part was, I believe, like $179, and I'm pretty capable. So I just figured I would change it myself. And with having to do that, I turned to YouTube. And sure enough, I found several videos on how to try and change the water pump on a 2017 Chevy Track. And while it took me twice the amount of time, uh, had to spend a little bit more money and new tools that were required, I got it done and saved myself a significant amount of money. But while I was doing this, I kept thinking, why aren't there videos on YouTube for fellow researchers, history enthusiasts, genealogists to be able to say, I want this specific record at the National Archives, and no video to show you from the minute you walk into the archives to where you have to go, what forms you have to fill out, and whatnot, and figured that's something I would like to do in the future. Again, this was, I think, May of 2023. So I figured, why not now? And my twigs, as I call them, on my Facebook page, I mentioned that I received a significant amount of VA claim files in the mail, and everybody wanted to know how. But it's not just one of those things you can be like, do this and you're good. No, it actually has a few steps. And I figured, well, I think I'd like to make my first video on showing people how they themselves can request their World War I, World War II, Korean War veterans claim file from the Veterans Administration and how to do it efficiently and without costing you any money. Who doesn't love to save money, right? Now, before we kick off, I just want to bring it to everybody's attention. I've never made a YouTube video before, nor have I ever wanted to. I'm more of a in the shadows type of researcher where I just like to go to work, pull my records, and go home. And so please give me a little grace from other YouTube videos I've seen about starting a YouTube channel. Your worst video is going to be your first video. So hopefully in 6 months, we are all cackling about this one video. And the videos have gotten much better. All right, so step one, we are going to download the VA form 20-10206 from the VA website. I'm going to put a link to the form in the bio, I believe it's called, below, along with all the other links that I suggest so that this is all encompassing. You just need this one video to go from start to finish and have the links to help you out along the way. Alrighty. Also, since I have filled out this form more than 200 times, I'm also going to put a link to my fillable version of this form, which just highlights the parts of the form that we need to fill out to be able to correctly submit the form to the VA. All right, continuing on. Step 2, you want to fill out the bottom portion of the form. This is where you'll notice that a certified letter is available for you, and it's also going to be where the VA sends your documentation for your request. Now, this is section 2. Of course, it's just your name, your mailing address, your telephone number. Simple enough, right? Right. Step 3 is to fill out the section for your veterans information and the type of record you are requesting from the VA. Now, the VA file is easiest found if you have your veteran social security number or their VA file number, both which I'll show you where to find momentarily. All right, so at the very top, you see social security number. So if you know your veteran's social security number, enter it here. Also, as you go down, you put in your veteran's name, first name, or middle initial, last name, then your social security number. Again, the file is easiest found with the social security number or the VA file number, which you can enter if you have it on the right. Uh, I have sent many of requests just with the social security number and have received a file. But if you have the VA file number, it'll easily be found and probably take a lot less time getting to you. Now, below that section is section 3. We are going for a claim file, the C file. It's in the right underneath 17, already checked boxed here in this photo. I already know I'm going to get the question, where do I find my Veterans VA claim file number? Well, one place that you can find it for veterans up to 1940, I believe, is in the Veterans Administration Master Index. This is on Family Search, and I will have a link in the bio for you to find it. Another place that you can find a veterans claim file number is on Ancestry using their Headstone application for military veterans. In this red circle right there, if the veteran had a claim file, the number would be in there most likely. If the veteran significant other has a claim file number, of course, it wouldn't be on this document. Again, this link will also be in the bio below. Now, if there's a possibility that you cannot find your veteran's VA claim file number in those two locations, next you'd be like, well, where would I find my veteran's social security number? One spot that you can find it online on Ancestry is in the Social Security Death Index. I will also put that link below. Of course, there's a few other places on Ancestry.com that you can find your veteran's Social Security number. The next one would be the Department of Affairs, BIRLS. Excuse me, I have dyslexia. This has tripped me up several times already. Death file. Also, the U.S. Social Security Applications and Claims Index. The links will be in the bio below. All right, step 3 is filling out section 6, which is the willingness to pay fees. Now, they do ask for a specific amount, but in the over 110 claim files I've received so far, I have yet to be charged a fee. In this section, you're going to want to click the little box that I am willing to pay the applicable fees up to the amount of, and you put in the amount you're comfortable with. I just put in $25. It seems like a nice cap. Step 4 is filling out section 8, which requires your signature and the date that you're sending it or filled it out. Now, just to let you know that when you submit this file to the VA, it does become part of the veteran's claim file. As you can see here, like on page 2, Social Security numbers at the top, fill it out if you have it. Then your signature, Twisted Twigs, hey, and the date that you signed. Step 5. Now, after you've filled out all your sections. You're going to want to print it and sign it, or in my Adobe, I have a signature already set, so I can sign it online. Then you are going to want to save the PDF on your computer. Also, if you do not have this capability, you can print it out, sign it, and then scan it or take photos of it to be uploaded back to your computer. Step 6. Now you want to head over to fax0.com. Now, this website will allow you to fax up to 3 documents, not including a cover page, for free. And again, who doesn't like free? Now, FactZero only accepts doc, docx, and PDF files. In a pinch, you can use the iScanner mobile app to take photos of the documents and email them to yourself as a PDF file. I have actually been using the iScanner app since 2016 at the National Archives because you can take photos with it and then turn those photos into a PDF. Highly recommend, 10 out of 10. Step 7. On the left-hand side, you're going to fill out your name, your email, your phone number on the top left side. As you can see, step 8, on the right-hand side at the top, you're going to enter the name Evidence Intake Center. The company, you're going to put in Department of Veteran Affairs. And in the fax number. And again, I also have dyscalculia, so I'm not even going to try and read that number aloud. Now that we have the top portion filled out, we're now going to upload our file. So you're going to click that first Choose Files tab and select your PDF off your computer to be uploaded to their system. Step 10 is filling out your cover letter. You may write whatever you wish, but I will share with what I use on my cover letter. Dear FOIA Privacy Act Officer, I'm requesting the veteran claim file of veteran's name here. I have attached a complete inside VA Form 20-10206. I will pay any applicable FOIA processing fees for the file if necessary. If you have any questions, please contact me by email or the phone number listed on cover sheet. Warmest regards, your name. This is what I use. You may use what you prefer. Step 11 is enter the confirmation code into the space above it. As you can see with the red arrow, you just want to enter whatever 5 things that they give you, numbers or letters, into that confirmation code. Then once you have filled out the confirmation code, which I haven't done on this slide, you're going to go down to the bottom left and you are going to click the Send Free Fax Now button. Now, after you hit that, this will appear on your screen saying to check your email. To send your fax, you must go to your email and click on the link in the Zero Fax email to submit that you want this fax to be sent. If you did everything correctly, you should now see a web page sort of like this one saying sending fax. Woohoo! We're on our way. All right, now after 5, 10, 15 minutes, you can refresh your web page, and if the fax went through, you should see a web page sort of like this. Now, when you click to send the file, you should receive an email stating that your fax is being sent, and then when it is received by the VA fax, it will say that fax success, and you will receive an email about that as well. Now, what do? If everything goes as planned, you should receive a letter from the Veterans Administration in 2 to 3 weeks stating that they received your request and it's processing. You might receive a letter stating that they received your request and they have no file. If they do say that they are processing your request, you should receive a notice of certified letter in 2 to 3 months. stating that you have something waiting for you at the post office. Now, personally, myself, I run up to the post office and pick up my VA claim file envelope, and or for people that do not have the possibility to get up to the post office, you can actually sign your certified letter notice, give it to your mailman, and they will actually deliver your certified letter to your home. So let's just say you have your certified letter notice. Hooray! That means that you have a VA claim file waiting for you. Unfortunately, if your file has more than 10 pages on it, the file will be sent on a CD. Yes, a CD. A CD. All right, so make sure you have a laptop or a desktop that has a CD-ROM. I know it's rare. I even had to pull an old desktop out of storage just to have one. Now, if your VA file is less than 10 pages, the file will be scanned, printed, and mailed to you. Now, when I first got the idea to contact the Veterans Administration about claim files, I was a little hesitant. It was right after Christmas, right before New Year's. I had nothing to do that day, and I figured, why not? Let's give it a go. Now, at the beginning of the pandemic, I actually sent over 100 requests by mail to the VA, and out of the 100, only two were responded to. One was responded to after I had moved. And the only way I know this is that when I re-requested a client's father's VA file, my 2020 request was actually in the VA file. So, um, but this next time around, what I found fascinating is because I pull so many Army OMPFs that were ruined by the fire. So usually you only get a slip of their final pay from the government. There's never a DD 214, separation papers, things that you would think that would have been reissued and put in a veteran's file after the fire. But shockingly, in the 100 plus VA claim files that I've reviewed just since January, 90% of them have a DD 214, and some of them have separation papers, but most of them do have one or the other. I was shocked to find that a lot of med records that were in the original service record booklet were part of their VA claim files, because when the veteran said, "Hey, I broke my leg, while in service," well, then the National Archives would make a copy and send it to the VA for, their application, which surprised me because I would say at least 70% of them have files in it that were actually the originals were lost in the fire. Not all of them, but a good chunk of them at least has medical records from injuries, a lot of dental records, which is very helpful when I'm trying to find a unit that, say, a Army person was in, you know, uh, for a brief moment of time. Well, once you got into the service, they'd send you to the dentist, usually within a month or two if there was an issue. So these files have been extremely helpful for me to zero in on the small little units that soldiers were in before they went to their main unit. Another one is vital records. I have never seen so many vital records, and I've probably pulled over 8,000 Civil War pensions, which usually have some sort of vital records in them. But most of the VA files have death certificates, marriage certificates, birth and baptism records for the veteran and their children. Because if a vet was asking for benefits, they'd say, "Well, do you have any children?" They would have to prove when their children were born. I've seen baptism records. I've even seen the driver's license of a veteran's son. That was extremely interesting because he was actually adopted out shortly after. But I can't really share that with you. It's a client's case. And with my client's information, I keep it on the DL unless they allow me to share the story of the records that I've found. But again, There are amazing things that I have found in VA claim forms that were in their service record that were no longer, including one I received in a VA claim file for my own grandfather, which you've seen his name in here multiple times, Harry Hazard, um, that his burned service record actually is all that is made up of his VA claim file. But I'll talk more about that at the end of this video. All right, so now we have gone from through all the steps. You have now sent out your VA claim request. Now what more is there? Now I know a lot of people they're busy, they just want the record. They don't want to do it themselves. My favorite Willie Banks quote from Ocean 13 is, "I don't want the labor pains, I just want the baby." Well, for that, Twisted Twigs actually offers three affordable options of research and retrieval services for your World War I, World War II, Korean War veterans that are actually affordable. Because I know when I originally started hunting down my grandfather's file, I believe I was quoted 900 and some odd dollars for his file to be dug out. And that's when I made my first trip to St. Louis because I don't have that amount of money just to spend on a few documents. I rather take a trip and find it myself. Now, our first option is your simple OMPF retrieval. It's available for Navy, Marines, Army, and Air Force. This is the only ones I offer for World War I, World War II, Korean War, Navy, and Marines. Their files were not touched by the fire, so they're fully intact. And that's marvelous for me because I request it, it's brought to me, I know exactly what it's going to be. Every now and then there'll be a negative of their enlistment photo, which tickles me pink and makes my clients deliriously happy. For this simple retrieval, we request a $20 deposit to place your order, and then there's a sliding scale retrieval fee related to the page count. If a Navy or Marine file is fully complete, it's most likely going to be over 60 pages, which means the most you're going to pay for that file is $65. Now, if the National Archives has to get a photo from that negative, we tack on the cost that they charge us, which is $5. So, in essence, if you have a Navy guy, all and his file is considerably big, over 60 pages, and he has a file, the most you'll pay is $70. Now, for the Army and Air Corps, Air Force veterans that their files were supposedly lost in the 1973 fire, we offer two different options for their files reconstructions. Think of it as a charcuterie board of military record options. So, when we were coming up with our reconstructions, we received a slew of questions from our clients of what they were hoping to find in the file. And this is listed on the left. And then on the right is a listing of uh, many of the different record groups that we go through to help reconstruct the history of a veteran's service. Now, our mini reconstruction is $150. It's a 75 deposit to place your order. Once we have your file ready to go, we sent you um, a completion payment link. Once we receive your payment, then we forward your veteran's file. We guarantee at least 100 pages, and I guarantee with any other record retrieval company, you're not going to find a better deal than this. Now, this is what I call for the uh, give me a heads up or give me a helping hand before our clients want to do the research for themselves. So we kind of guide them in the right way, give them files that are helpful and that will allow them to continue the research on their own. Now, our second one is our reconstruction overview package. It is a $125 retainer to place your order, $250 for the total cost, and we guarantee at least 200 pages. This is a little bit bigger of a charcuterie board. We usually include all their morning reports for their units from when the time they left the United States and went over to fight in the war, and then when they came back. We can also tailor it to some clients want to know what happened when their veteran was in the POW camp, what hospitals that they were in, the medical records that might be available, things of that sort. We only offer the two options because we do tend to get a lot of orders, and if we made bigger packages, it would not allow us to assist more clients throughout the year. So when we receive a lot of reconstructions in a short period of time, we'll typically put it on hold and let people know that if they're interested in a reconstruction overview or a mini reconstruction, to submit your information. And as soon as we have openings to our next group of taking orders, that would email them back. And that usually works for a lot of our clients. Now, I'm not one to, uh, you know, promote a lot because we get a lot of our records from word of mouth. But I figured since I am doing a YouTube channel, it wouldn't hurt to say, hey, if you're interested and you don't feel like, you know, doing all the work, we will happily, get you started one way or another. Now, if you're interested, you can use this QSR code or QR code, and it will take you to our website where you can pick what war your veteran fought in and the options that are available. Okay, also now kind of getting back to this is my grandpa. That is Harry E. Hazard Jr. Everybody called him Mike. That's him and my grandmother right before he was sent out. I believe he was going to Nebraska for some training. He was in the Air Force. Now, getting back to our recovered OMPF burn files being sent to the Veterans Administration. Possibly. I just noticed this when I received my grandfather's VA claim file in the mail. I was not expecting one since he died right after he turned 60. He was able bodied. There was no reason for him to ask for benefits, but I figured I would just go ahead and request and see what happens. All right. Well, as you can see, the VA claim file I received from my grandfather is on the right, a very bad copy of the file. As you can see, it's full of shadows, where on the left is the copy that I made on my first trip to St. Louis NARA location of his burnt service record booklet that the preservation team had put in visqueen. Again, on the right, the VA claim file. On the left, my photos from 2014. They are identical. That makes me wonder if the preserved burn files are making their way to the VA, or for some reason this just happened in my own grandfather's file. So since I've probably received a few dozen burn files since 2018. I picked a few of them and have requested their VA claim file just to see if they've also migrated over to the VA as well. I will let you know as soon as I know. Now, this will be the end of this video. Again, please give me grace. It's my first video. I've been working on this for days and days and days, and at this point, I just want to get it done and up with. If I had a lot more time, I had more examples to share with you, but possibly if you guys like my videos, then I possibly will upload an extended version of this presentation or video or whatever we're calling it right now. But again, I had a blast. I hope you're enjoying it as well. If you have any questions, you can always put them below. Subscribe, like, share, all those good things. Again, first video. I don't know what I'm doing. All right. Well, originally I made this for the twigs on my Facebook page, Twisted Twigs on Gnarled Branches Genealogy. If you enjoy genealogy memes, uh, photos of files that were interesting to me while they came across my scanner, come check us out, give a like, follow, whatever. No pressure, lol. I do hope to make tons of YouTube videos having to do with helping others visit the National Archives and actually get the records that they want first time out. Um, if this is of interest to you, subscribe to the YouTube channel, share it. Let me know what kind of videos you'd like. I do pull records from the American Revolution all the way to the Korean War. There's a lot that I've learned over the years because I am one of the researchers that ask a lot of questions. When I first went to the archives, I didn't know anything about military research and fell in love with it the first week and have never looked back. So, uh, thank you again and have a wonderful day.